What if lightning always struck the same place? Let's imagine a strange new rule for the universe. Every single lightning bolt, no matter where it forms, always crashes down on one single spot on Earth. At first glance, this might sound convenient. No more random lightning fires, no more unlucky golfers getting sapped. But in reality, this would be the most destructive natural disaster in history, and it would never end. So where would this unlucky point be? Let's pick somewhere simple, say the middle of the Sahara Desert. On day 1, a thunderstorm forms over Brazil. Instead of striking a tree in the rainforest, the lightning arcs thousands of kilometers through the sky, bends around the Earth, and slams into that desert spot. A second storm forms over New York, another over Australia, and so on. All of them converge on the same unlucky patch of sand. Within a few minutes, the desert would look less like sand dunes and more like the surface of the sun. Lightning bolts can reach temperatures hotter than the surface of the sun, around 30,000 Kelvin, with millions of bolts hitting the same point every year. The ground would instantly turn to glass. In fact, it wouldn't just melt, it would boil. You would end up with a permanent crater, a glowing pit of lava created not by volcanoes, but by weather. Now, suppose you were a scientist sent to study this place. You would not last long. Even if you stood miles away, the electromagnetic pulses from constant strikes would fry your electronics, including your phone, your GPS, and most definitely your pacemaker. If you tried to get closer, the air itself would kill you. Continuous lightning would rip apart the molecules in the atmosphere, filling the area with ozone and nitrogen oxides. You'd basically be walking into an industrial smog machine running at full power, powered by nature. But the real chaos wouldn't be limited to one desert. If lightning had to choose one place to strike, that means no lightning anywhere else. And that would actually break the global climate system. Lightning helps fix nitrogen in the atmosphere, turning it into compounds that plants can use. Without it, crops all over the world would suffer. Farmers might notice their soil becoming strangely infertile, while one particular spot on Earth becomes the most over-fertilized radioactive cornfield imaginable. And then there's the question of energy. A single lightning bolt carries about 1 gigajoule of energy. Globally, Earth sees around 1.4 billion strikes per year. Multiply that out, and you're talking about more energy than all of humanity uses in a year. If you could somehow capture all of it at that one unlucky point, you'd have a free, unlimited power plant. The catch is that your power station would also be a smoking crater the size of a city, glowing hot and constantly exploding. Not exactly easy to plug into the grid. So maybe the government decides to build a giant lightning tower there. Something like a supercharged Tesla coil designed to absorb all that energy. This would work for about 5 minutes, until the tower vaporized. The next attempt might be to put the strike point in the ocean. Surely the sea can handle it? Well, sort of. The lightning would boil the water instantly, producing an enormous permanent storm of steam. Over time, the constant heating could create its own local weather system. A thunderstorm that endlessly feeds itself by evaporating water, which then condenses and produces more lightning, which again all strikes the same point. You'd have built the world's first self-sustaining weather monster. Now, what about living creatures? If, by some cosmic joke, the single lightning strike point happened to land in your backyard, you'd be the most famous homeowner on Earth. Tourists would come from all over the world to see your glowing pit. Unfortunately, you wouldn't live to enjoy the attention. because your house would be the most dangerous place on the planet. Insurance companies would send you polite letters beginning with, "We regret to inform you." Theoretically, if the single strike point happened to be at the South Pole, things might be safer. The lightning would smash into ice, carving a bottomless shaft that descends deeper every year. Eventually, it might punch through to the ocean under Antarctica's ice sheet. Congratulations, you've invented the world's largest glowing drinking straw. Unfortunately, every penguin in a 1,000-kilometer radius would disagree with your sense of scientific achievement. So, what if lightning always struck the same place? The Earth would be reshaped by storms, its nitrogen cycle broken, and one spot on the map would become a literal portal to hell. On the bright side, at least you'd always know where not to stand during a thunderstorm.